You know what? I'm just going to stop there because we're getting too into it, and it's all right. Hey guys, welcome in to the Attitude of Aggression Wrestling podcast. Here tonight to welcome back the return of the Big Five Project and to cover tonight Survivor Series 1996 as we sit on the precipice of the birth of Tunney's favorite period in all of pro wrestling history. He's been waiting patiently. He's gone through 1995. He's gone through almost all of 96, waiting to turn the corner. And it's going to happen here tonight as we're going to cover Survivor Series 96, which is a very interesting show to say the least. I am your host, Dave Unger, coming at you here tonight. Ray Cash is in here for a little while. He's already shaking his head. Ray, I just started. What can you possibly be upset about right now?
You have you ever watched Conan O'Brien whenever he interviews Paul Rudd? And every time he interviews Paul Rudd, Paul plays this whole nice, beautiful, coy, great interview. And hey, man, I brought my next film. Here's the new trailer, and it's always the Marley and Me feed. I feel like I'm on the show. And you're telling me we're going to talk about Survivor Series 1996, but you're going to put on a goddamn David Sammartino match, and I'm going to lose. I'm going to pull each dread out one by one.
I swear, Ray, if I pull out a David Sammartino match, you can come to California and kick me in the nuts like 20 times consecutively.
Well, then Mrs. Attitude would really be mad at me.
Well, yeah, you might get kicked in the nuts yourself, but that's beside.
I love you. I'm scared of her.
I'm scared of her too, and I'm married to her.
I gotta keep the gimmick going.
I'm married to her, and I gotta keep it going. Yeah, man, exactly. Believe me, I
am not scared of you, Mrs. Attitude.
Yeah, well, you have to meet her in person. Yeah, wait. Welcoming into the show, of course, you already heard him, the man, the myth, the legend of all things Chairshot media related. As we sit a mere 3 days from the relaunch of the Chairshot's website, the webmaster, there you go, webmaster Ray Cash here today. He's probably not going to stick around for this whole thing because I have scarred him really badly with that WrestleMania 2.
Yes.
I mean, he was on the very first installment of the Big Five Project, and he's never been back. But he's probably going to come here because we are going to talk a little bit of current stuff before we jump into that. Of course, I'm joined by the guy who stands by me for 95% of the stuff that I do here on the Attitude of Aggression Wrestling podcast, Unidentified History, Game Gone Wrong, all that stuff. The one and only, the AVEPVP. That's a lot of, I don't even know what that acronym means. But it's the one and only PC Tunney. What's going on, man?
The anonymous,
always very evil,
virtuous,
always very
exponentially pussy vulvulating person.
Wow, Jesus!
Always very evil, probably very personable.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Stop giving me more nicknames, you asshole.
Never gonna stop.
I know.
The Rob Zombie song, I ain't never gonna stop.
Yeah, but you know what? My real name fits into the song "Living Dead Girl." Instead of saying "Living Dead Girl" the way it's in that song, say my real name.
Living Percival Girl.
Yeah, well, never mind. Let's just move on to wrestling.
He is the nephew of the Poon Slayer himself, the former president of the WWF, Jack Tunney. Yeah. So how's everybody doing tonight? Before we jump into some of this stuff, everybody hanging in there okay?
We're busy. Yeah. We're so busy. And Ray is the busiest one of us all. But it's always a good time to talk wrestling because that's where our hearts lie.
Have you heard the rumor?
What's the rumor?
Which rumor? There's a ton of rumors, right? Shout out to old girl from the Umbrella Academy. I heard a rumor. No, there's some new shit coming on the Chairshot.com starting Monday, April the 13th. If you didn't know.
Be there.
Be circle.
I kind of tried to clue them in that their website was being revamped on the 13th, Ray, but you only hear what you want to hear. So that's all right.
I got Sammartino on the brain, bro.
Get him off the brain, man.
That's why I'm so busy. I am literally, as we speak, creating a workflow automation for the damn site. So yes,
you are the man. You are absolutely the man. what I want to do is I want to go through before we jump into Survivor Series 96. I do want to talk about, because last time when we did SummerSlam 96, the card for WrestleMania at that time, we talked about it. And I think it was like 4 matches long or something. We had like 4 or 5 matches. We've got the full card laid out now. We know which matches are coming on night 1. We know which matches are coming on night 2. Before we get into any of that, though, I wanted to talk about Monday Night Raw this past week and the CM Punk pipe bomb that has got everybody all worked up in a lather about this stuff. And Ray and I already messaged each other, and I know we don't exactly see eye to eye on this point, but that's okay. So Punk came out and he dropped a lot of I'd say a lot of truth about Roman Reigns, and went off on Roman and said a lot of things about how Roman's first 8 WrestleManias were not exactly lighting the world on fire, which is true. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Said that Roman was a buck-toothed Nepo baby who ate dog food for a weird old man. I will not lie and say that was interesting, an interesting thing. Ray did not like that part. I do. The part that Ray and I don't exactly see eye to eye on, and we can talk about it here. And I'm going to play the audio, and I'm just going to play the audio on this because this is the part that I'm like, all right, I get why we're doing this, but I'm not sure that this is how I would have done this. But let me play this for you, and we'll talk about this.
And you would think I'm done, but I'm not, because everybody's getting it tonight. Pat McAfee. You buggy-whipped arm, no-brain hillbilly. You think you can come here to the business, my business of pro wrestling, and run your mouth while you just wrote a check that your narrow ass can't cash? You want to talk about ticket sales? Do me a favor. Call up that agent that was foolish enough to shoehorn you into this business and this show and tell him to lower the ticket prices.
Okay. So here was what I complained to Ray about this segment, is that this is something WWE does too much, is they take a real world concern and they make light of it, and then they try and shoehorn it into a storyline. And the fact of the matter is that the ticket prices for this event have been too high. I don't think any of us would dispute that the ticket prices have been too high. It has drastically hurt their attendance for WrestleMania 42. That is a real world problem. And to shoehorn that into a storyline and make light of it, in my opinion, is just, it is something that WWE does frequently. And I just thought, this is a bad look. This is a real problem, Hunter. You guys have priced yourselves out of the market. It was okay. Like, WrestleMania 40, when you had that great line with that great story with Cody and The Rock and Roman and all that stuff. And even last year, where I think all of us said that the prices last year were ridiculous. But you had the prospect of John Cena breaking the record. That's why I went, and then you saw all the events this year. Like, I remember when Money in the Bank was in LA, I was like, what the fuck is going on with the prices for this thing? And that has permeated through this year. And it has carried over to WrestleMania 42, which I adamantly think on paper, as we're going to talk about, is a better card on paper than last year's event. I'm not decrying that at all. That is the truth. But there's nothing that like has that grab to it that would justify the prices that they were trying to force down people's throats on this one. And now they're scurrying. Now they're scrambling. Prices now are ridiculously cheap. I mean, if you really get on there, you can get like a 2-day pass for like $350. Not bad seats. Or you can get like a single day pass in the 100 sections, which is just one up from the ground for like $250. It's tempting as shit all of a sudden for me to go over there. But the problem is, of course, you go over to Vegas. It's not just going to the event. It's Vegas and everything that goes involved with Vegas. But this is I love him going off on Pat McAfee. I thought that was great. If Punk wants to kick McAfee's ass after WrestleMania, do it. Great. I just really did not like the whole notion of trying to make the ticket prices a storyline item. And I know Ray didn't necessarily agree with me. I mean, I don't think we were like virulently disagreeing with each other.
It's not beef. Yeah, no.
but Ray didn't agree with me on that. So I'll turn to you, Ray, and tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, the reason I don't agree with that particular part of it is the two people that have mentioned it are the two people who are known to cut shoot promos. Had you had Damian Priest come out and cut a promo on it, had you had Dan Houser made a joke about it, or R-Truth make a joke about it, or anybody else except for the two people who are known regularly to say what they want, they let Cody say "Go fuck yourself" on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Punk's the entire reason Punk's popularity grew to super duper trooper cooper super pooper scooper stardom is because he cut a quote unquote shoot promo. So if these are the guys they're using for that, that to me doesn't scream storyline. That to me screams they put a little extra in what they wanted to try to make TKO make a change things. So things tonight is Friday, right? As we're
Yes.
recording this live.
As we're recording.
If
Better be.
it
I'm
is,
not going to work tomorrow.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
about to say, yeah, yeah. I need a Saturday. If if it is referenced again tonight by someone who is not one of those two people, then I will agree with you. You're right. It's becoming a story. But the people who have been involved with this, with just saying just the word ticket prices and that idea, they're the ones who talk the shit and say what they want to do anyway. So I'm not convinced that Punk and Cody didn't just go out there and just throw that shit in there because they wanted to, particularly Punk. And to that point, I'll give you a perfect example from the Punk standpoint. I am not of the belief that Punk regularly goes out and does his own thing. By and large, he sticks with the script. They do not give him a word for word script, but they tell him this is what you need to talk about, bullet points, bing, bang, boom. He's earned that. If anybody's fucking earned that, it's CM Punk. However, you can watch the general tenor of the promo. It's one way. Then he gets up and starts fucking walking and saying shit he doesn't normally say. It is not your normal run of the mill Punk promo. It's not your run of the mill Punk shoot promo. It felt like Punk was making a statement on his own in the midst of trying to sell the match. Because here's my point to you: WWE is not AEW. WWE is not TNA. WWE is not any of these other companies that do shit and they don't reference it again. Why would Punk reference Pat McAfee if they will not cross paths? I bet you he did that shit on his own.
Maybe. Tony, I'm going to let you jump in here right now. It could it also be that, like you're saying, Ray, that the perception of Punk and Cody as being guys who have a little bit more latitude, that maybe they said, let's put these guys out here and let them roll with this thing. Because, I mean, if they're going into business for themselves out there and talking about ticket prices and that sort of thing, there's going to be some backlash to that, right? I mean, Tony, go ahead.
Necessarily.
Do you think Triple H is thrilled with TKO? Do you think Triple H is like, hey, don't talk about tickets?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
right. And with the plausible deniability of what Ray is saying that, well, hey, I mean, Cody and Phil, they kind of have carte blanche. We never told Rock what to do. He's up there with you guys now. As far as the Pat McAfee thing goes, what if it's just another thing pulling your attention away from the fact that maybe Punk turns heel and maybe him and Pat and Cody
Randy
form
or
no. Cody's
okay.
turning heel. We're getting a double heel turn in that. We're getting a double turn in that match.
I heard
Not
you guys
anymore.
yesterday.
Because I believe that Randy Orton was turned heel to scare away that fact. Like everybody's like, well,
look,
now there's no chance. But I think there's a lot of things that we don't know that when they had to change, like that's the biggest thing too, guys. We were supposed to get Roman and Seth this year. We were 100% in my opinion before all the injuries happened, right? And it's great to see that Seth is back. It's great to see Rey Mysterio has made it back to be on WrestleMania as well, but we don't really know. And to your point, Dave and Ray, they have been using real life more in storylines to make their own version of kayfabe currently. Really? Because they
That's
can't.
unreal.
It can't do the
Yeah,
old
what-
kayfabe stuff because they revealed they have shout unreal. But if you interact and use all this real stuff, then people are like, "Oh, I'm not sure." The line
Well,
is blurred again.
and that's when it's the best, when you're just not sure. Well, what is real, what's not, and that sort of thing. And like you're saying, the show Unreal really adds a new wrinkle to all that stuff because we're like pulling back the curtain to the extent they want to pull it back. And I think you and I have talked about that before, Tony, that Unreal is unreal up to a point, that sort of thing. And then it's not anymore. But
Can I say one more thing to what Tony said? Because I think it's a fun conversation, but I disagree because I don't think Randy Orton ever turned heel. Randy Orton did what Randy Orton always does.
Right, but
I
I mean, yeah, I agree with you, but like you would say, like he's playing the heel role now in this, right?
not the
Like
heel, the
kind of,
antagonist, sure.
sure,
But
and
I
it's just
think
like
with Pat McAfee coming
yeah,
in, that's
he's
the
a
reason.
heel. Yeah,
Right, and if you think about it, this is booking genius, right? Mr. Booking by Tony. This is booking genius because they understood that fans were getting a bit sick of Cody and loving Randy even more for doing what Randy Orton is the only guy in the history of wrestling who Dominic Mysterio turned heel while being already a heel. Randy Orton could shoot someone in the face and they would get cheered for it because we expect Randy to be a crazy person, right? I think it's genius for them to bring a ringer in who basically just shit on the fans 1000% and put himself with Randy now. And now Randy's going to get booed properly and Cody's going to get cheered properly because nobody likes the guy that talks shit about the fans. It's actually a really genius kind of not flip, but kind of course correction in terms of if you really want Cody to get cheered, Norton to get booed, because it wasn't go. I don't think there was ever going to be a heel turn, Tony. But you're right. Cody was going to get booed. Randy was going to get cheered. He was going to get cheered so much he was going to ascend to heaven like fucking Enoch. Like it was never ever going to be anything else.
To your point, I kind of look at Roman in the same faction. Like Roman was never a heel either. He was always just Roman Reigns. Like they're like, oh, he's turning heel. I'm like, no, they're just booing him because they don't like the surrounding circumstances at the time. But that's when he finally got good. Dave brings it up, the point that Punk made, right? Like Roman was kind of this guy that was halfway shoved down your throat in a lot of people's opinions until the entire Bloodline storyline, right? The Triple H thing, Dan and I used to give him shit for so long. Like, just say the L, you fucker. You know? Anyway.
I mean, when you look at Roman's history, at WrestleMania, I mean, you had the stuff at 30 with the Shield. You had the match with Brock at 31, which was fine. I was in Dallas for 32. The fans hated that match. And it went on for 35 minutes. And then at who did he fight? Oh, he beats the Undertaker at 33. That makes him real popular. We had the travesty with Brock at 34.
Can we pause for 33? Because I hate that Roman gets the blame for that. Mark Calloway is his fault. Do not blame Roman Reigns for that match. He was not prepared. Taker was not prepared for that match.
Well, he even said it too.
He knows.
Even said it. That's why
he knows.
You know what's funny though about Roman Reigns is, Dustin Rhodes put out that question of where do you have me on your 1 to 500 this past week, and
I saw you got some love for that.
I had one of my awesome, not from him, but like the IWC. I had 14,000 views on putting out our Chair Shot 100 list from 2022, and I want to tell you, Roman Reigns was 19th on that list. No one complained about where Roman Reigns was on the list. Didn't even come up. Didn't even come
2022 at 19? No, that's
it's funny. The most hilarious thing happened here, Dave. People were arguing with each other. I didn't even respond to anybody. I just hearted things that weren't being assholes. And I even had people jump in like defending me against people that were like, hey dude, read the whole post. It's from 2022 and shit like that, right? It's just it's insane. The IWC is just one of the biggest keyboard warrior fucking nations ever.
Oh, they are. They are, we talk a lot about the comparisons between the IWC and the UFO community. And as nasty as UFO community can be, they're amateurs compared to the IWC. And the nastiness that comes out of there, it's like, oh my God. But unfortunately, as we know, I could not really follow all that because of my present X situation, but I did see enough of it to know that was very interesting. But I mean, like you guys are talking, there could be multiple really cool story elements coming out of WrestleMania. Like, Cody could turn heel. Punk should be heel at this point. It's like, all right, we've done this whole goody fun thing as long as we want. But man, I don't know.
Punk can do whatever. Like Dan and I talked about this. We said the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers on the mic, not like all-time mic guys, because
our friends
speaking of
here
Mike
today. Yeah.
Speaking of Mike, Whistling Mike, I saw the Road Warriors and Ultimate Warriors tag team in Wichita as a kid. It lasted 20 seconds. Don't complain about 45-minute matches. Those there, but Mike, I want you to check out some of the awesome WrestleMania profiles that'll be up next week on thechairshot.com. All new, revamped. Everything's going to be awesome, but we're doing Mania profiles for a lot of the guys who had crazy awesome matches. I'm currently writing the one on Ultimate Warriors, so go in and check that out. All I talk about is how I didn't care that his 45-second squash matches on WWF Superstars. I just wanted to see him shake the ropes, So
well, yeah, like you said, his matches and his entrances were about the same length. Especially I've told you the story. Like I saw him wrestle on. Oh, I say wrestle. It was squash Andre the Giant at the DC Armory in 20 seconds. Now that one never got
Andre
televised.
didn't want to be out there that long anyway.
No, he didn't need to be out there that long.
But to go back, there's Ray's new puppy.
Ray's got his baby.
Coco's adorable.
Coco is adorable, Ray.
So
Man.
going back to my point, would you agree? Top professional wrestlers on the mic all-time Mount Rushmore. DP and I agreed. Cena, Punk, Rock, Flair.
Man, Flair for sure. Rock for sure.
Cena and Punk eviscerate people like nobody else. Who else would be up there?
Hogan. Hulk could cut a hell of a promo, man.
He's not on the level of those four guys, in my opinion. Like cocaine is a hell of a drug, Dave. I agree. But
and Randy Savage. What about Jake Roberts, man? Jake. Yeah.
Not to the magnitude that those four guys did it, though.
I'd say as far as eloquent promos that made you think, Jake's probably number one because he's quoting Longfellow and shit like that.
Yeah, Jake's the most efficient professional wrestler of all time. Jake didn't take us half a step or a half a breath without it meaning something.
True.
No, thank you, Mike. Seriously. Yeah. Everybody that tunes in, we appreciate you guys, and especially people like Mike who show up all the time for us. We love you, brother.
Here's a name you guys don't think about that deserves to be in this conversation. Foley.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, his sugar-coated testicles promo before some of his Rock matches was amazing. Like this guy drew on shit from crazy shit.
You know how people talk about Dusty Rhodes, by the way, too.
Yeah.
You know how people talk about Dusty's Hard Times promo?
Right.
I think in the same reference that they talk about Dusty's Hard Times promo, I look at Foley's Kane Dewey promo as one of the 5 greatest promos ever.
That's a great one too, yeah.
I will not put The Rock in the top 4. What's up?
Ooh.
I won't. And it's only because Rock didn't write anything he did. That was all Brian Gewirtz. And
what about
when
my guy?
Out?
My guy, Randy Macho Man he's a good promo as well.
Here's the thing that hurts Rock for me, and you can kind of extend that to Savage.
Writing on his hand.
At a certain point, your promos have to make sense. So yeah, Rock was funny.
All right, the Warrior's out. Sorry, Mike. Ultimate Warrior's out for us.
Yeah.
Well, he was never going to be in as far as promos go. Jesus, come on now. Yeah. Load the ship up with what the hell was my next line?
And when the ship goes straight to the moon, you will know there's only one warrior.
Okay, so what I did want to get into, we do know the full match cards for WrestleMania, which is a week. We are 1 week away from WrestleMania.
We are aware.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. So let's talk about the card for Saturday, night 1, WrestleMania night 1. We've got, 6-man tag team match. Logan Paul, who, Mike will appreciate this. I don't know, Mike, if you saw, name one person who can't imitate Macho Man. Everyone can. Ooh, that's true, Mike. You got it right on that point. Yeah. But I was going to say, Mike, did you see, this is for Mike and this is for all of us. Logan Paul was cut a video vignette earlier today saying that he has shown the UFO video, the Clark UFO video that he surreptitiously filmed and he should not have. And everybody in the UFO community has been asking him for years, show the video, show the video, show the video. He won't do it. He says that he showed it to Bob Lazar, and I guess he might show it on the Jesse Michaels show. And that's going to be very interesting if Logan Paul is finally going to show that UFO video. But before we get into any of that stuff with Logan Paul and Jesse Michaels, we are going to get a 6-man tag team match. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed.
Yeah, Ray.
Versus the Usos and LA Knight.
Ray, I have a bone to pick with you.
I know. I was listening to DWI
Yeah.
yesterday. I know.
What is the bone here?
I wanted to draft ISHO Speed, and Ray said no.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can't do it.
Here's one of the other Mike's not a fan of Lazar. Lots of people aren't actually, Mike, but yeah, I mean, we appreciate Logan Paul as being a natural for the wrestling business. That's for 100. Damn sure. Yeah. He has taken to it like very few have. But I don't know, man. This will be an interesting match. WWE loves their celebrities, and getting ISHO Speed involved in this, that's fine. What the hell? Oh, it's that Coco's upset, Ray? Sorry.
No, she's fine. Her food's there. She just wants attention. She's okay.
We've got an unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. I saw Drew earlier today outside of the SAP Center or wherever they are in San Jose, thanking the fans for showing up in the rain and trolling Jacob Fatu, saying he's got community service going on. So
would you guys say, looking at these shows that are going to be for free for night 1 and night 2, they absolutely picked the correct matches to put on the free part of the show?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you want the celebrity match on that free show. That's gonna draw people. And Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre is gonna be a war.
Yeah.
So I like.
DP and I kind of thought it was gonna be like a Falls Count Anywhere, but unsanctioned's kind of the same thing, right? Like this could not end up in the and could not end in the ring. I bet you it will, but they're gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be a street fight down there in Vegas, and I mean that there's a lot you can do with that. So I think that's a great call.
Is it not ironic that they did an unsanctioned match on a WrestleMania during the show on the big channel before the show?
It'd be interesting to see if they had pre-planned things that happen on the strip, like they go outside and everything happens, they go somewhere or something, you know.
Man, Coco's upset, Ray. Ray will be back.
Ray's got a new boss. It's Coco.
As a dog owner and one who had puppies, I am very well aware. We've got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. We got Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the champions, taking on Charlotte and Alexa versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins.
Speed's wrestling. He's wrestling.
He's wrestling. Braun Breaker's not there, so he's probably safe, Mike.
Those of you who don't know, Speed's been training and stuff. He's been in and out of the WWE facilities, the LFG side, and down there and working. And like, this is another guy that if he wanted to be full time, if he wanted to be like even just like a good portion part time, I think the ring work side for sure he would take to as quick as anybody ever. And when you think about how many views he gets, it's insane.
Well, yeah, you look at the guys who've made that transition. Logan Paul is probably the best so far. Bad Bunny's not far behind him.
Bad Bunny's great.
He's awesome. And now you got ISHO Speed who's showing up. And Jelly Roll is involved.
Jelly Roll is
he's
so
improved greatly
in like his conversations backstage with people, right? I even love Lil Yachty being involved with Trick Williams, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Yachty's probably not going to be doing any wrestling moves or anything, but man, to be on the mic and be his second is looked pretty sweet. All in white. The heels were all in white the other Friday night.
Yeah, and if, in case anybody watching is wondering, no, we're not going to preview these matches and give our winners. That's next week. We're just talking about the card because it's set, or we think it's set.
Do you want to make the announcement for next week?
No, you can make the announcement for next week. What is the announcement for next week?
The return of the original.
The TriCast. That's right. The TriCast will be coming back next week. Will be It'll be a simulcast live view. I guess we're going to broadcast it here and on the Chair Shot YouTube channels. That'll be very interesting.
We'll have to figure that out.
I think we can do it. Maybe not. We're gonna have to figure. That might be tricky. But we'll have to figure out how we're gonna do that. But
in case you guys didn't know, this is an uncomfortable position.
What's that?
The
With
dog,
Coco on your back, or
dog-
talking about simulcasting a broadcast.
Oh no, that part's cool.
Okay. Yeah. The Floyd Mayweather Big Show match was not a highlight. That's.
So Mike, let me holler at you, my boy. Oh, okay, hold on. This is so professional.
This is podcast. This is probably going to get our views up. Coco's going to be the star of this damn show. Nobody cares about Ray, but Coco.
Right, exactly. So Mike, let me holler at you, my boy, because that's I got to disagree with you on that. Let me tell you why the Floyd Mayweather match worked. The beauty of it was we knew he was never going to win. The beauty of it was they were able to make you wonder for just 1 second. That is genius. For just a second, you were like, there's no way. Right? That's the beauty of it.
Didn't Floyd win that match, though?
Oh, he did knock him out. Yeah, Floyd knocked him out.
Yeah. I mean, normally when the celebrities, they don't let the celebrities get worked unless they're the minis when Bundy splashed the guy at WrestleMania 3.
Or if you're Pete Rose, you just get.
If you're Pete Rose, rest in peace.
And
Jelly Roll, though, remember Jelly Roll told him at SummerSlam, "I gotta lose. You can't. I'm not winning."
Hey, Mike, if Ray really upsets you, all you gotta do is text 2 words in the chat, and it'll set Ray off. David,
I'm leaving.
San Martino.
I'm leaving. It's over. It's over.
All right, back to the card. Yeah, Mike's like, it was a knockout. We got AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I'm really surprised there's no additional stipulation in this match. With their history, it could have been like, hey, let's do a Hell in a Cell match or something on this thing, but it just didn't happen.
At this point in their career, those two, though, they're not looking to. There's so much money to be made with them. Like,
it's going to stretch the SummerSlam, right? I mean, it's probably going to stretch the SummerSlam.
Interesting, maybe.
Yeah. We got Seth Rollins versus Gunther, which is interesting. I've already offered up my thoughts as to why I thought something else would be in plan for Seth, but it's okay. It's all right.
So DP brought up.
Mike says he's writing David San Martino down just for you, Ray.
So DP brought up the fact that we got the first seeds of how we're going to get to Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, because the favor is going to be Paul Heyman convincing Brock Lesnar to put his career on the line to face Gunther at SummerSlam. I
just don't see it happening, but I know you guys are locked in on that thing. I don't see it happening, but we'll see.
That match is going to happen, but I think
it's going to happen. I don't think it's a career-ending match, though. But
not this soon.
Yeah.
But Brock has said he really only came to get one more payday. He's kind of done with this.
I'm willing to bet
getting
you
paid.
I'm willing to bet you both the $20 American. That is.
I'll bet you $20 Canadian dollars. That.
Okay, so fine, whatever. $14.96. I guess we're gonna bet. Whatever the fuck the exchange rate is.
I'm gonna bet you $20 Ghanaian dollars. How about that? Shout out to Kofi.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, Kofi. Well, isn't he Jamaican or Ghanaian? I don't know. Anyway, we got.
You're from Boston.
Yeah, we got Stephanie Vaquer taking on Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship, and then the main event of night 1, the undisputed WWE Championship match: Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in his corner. And I do wonder if Punk will get involved in that whole thing. Tony, you're gonna love what Mike just said here. Tony, would you like to respond, because I know that you share the same opinion on Gunther as Mike does.
He's getting more interesting, but yes, Mike, I've been begging for Gunther to be less one-dimensional. I think we're getting there, though. I think we're getting
twin.
Sunday, Intercontinental Championship ladder match. These are the 2 matches that are going to be in the first hour on ESPN. Boy, if they didn't, if you were on the fence whether they got it right for Saturday, they absolutely got it right on Sunday. Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Holy shit. Penta versus Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, 6-man ladder match for the IC title. Those are always good matches, especially at the stage of WrestleMania. I think that's fantastic. And then I hope they reinforce the ring, because it's Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and holy shit. We've all speculated about who goes over in that match. I think most of us think it's going to be Brock. Tune in for the TriCast next week when we make it official, or not.
Hey, she's doing the Oba strike. Can you see her?
I do. Yeah. Oba is the man. Oba's
Hey,
the
Tony,
man.
Tony, you are
Cursed.
Oh, you
Oba's
curse a
good.
cat. You can't curse a black cat. It just comes back at you. Y'all are screwed.
I'm gonna get Logan up here in the middle. He can say hi to Coco. We got
Let
the
me
United States
apologize to y'all, by the
Championship
way. I
match.
know this has been a shit show because
Oh man,
Coco just took over. I'm sorry.
this
Are
is
you
fun
kidding
and
me?
entertaining.
Animals will bring views. Let me tell you.
That's right. That's right. United States Championship match. Sami Zayn defending against Trick Williams. That'll be interesting. I wonder if Carmelo Hayes will be
That's been a
involved.
whole clusterfuck of a storyline, though, right?
It really
Dragunov had
has.
it, was doing awesome. It was him and Mello going back and forth. Mello wins it, immediately loses it to Sami Zayn, who immediately agrees for no reason to a rematch, and then wins.
And
Like
then
this
says,
is,
"I'll take on Trick."
yeah. Well, why didn't you
Well,
just
he
have
didn't
all
say to
four
take
guys
on
in there?
Trick.
You know,
Aldis gave him the trick match.
right? But
Okay.
I think eventually we ended up with the people that should be on the card. I'm still kind of not happy for Mello. Dragunov, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But Friday night is part of WrestleMania now too. So your favorite
Yeah.
superstars that aren't on the card will be on Friday Night SmackDown.
Because you're
We got
talking a lot of stuff, but Aleister Black and Dragon Lee aren't on WrestleMania either. That's not
Dragon
Dragon
Lee
Lee.
is in the six man.
Ray
yeah,
Phoenix,
he's in the
sorry,
six
Lucha
man. He
Lord.
should be in the
Ray
IC
Phoenix.
champion. He should be in the ladder
They are
match.
sour on Ray Phoenix, aren't they? Like they
They're
want
not-
Dragon
Well,
Lee over him.
he's
Are they
challenging
waiting?
over in AAA, I think.
Is
For
he
a
that way? He's doing more over
championship.
there. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
But,
Because I'm
but
waiting
also,
for them at some point to bring the Lucha Brothers back.
They will.
We've been
But
waiting for a
Penta's too
year.
good. Penta's too good singles right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And speaking of AAA, love Ray clearly. Uh, that should have been El Hijo del Vikingo spot
Yeah.
because literally Penta is facing him this Saturday for the IC title and AAA. And can you imagine what Vikingo could do in that type of ladder match?
Here though, Ray, in a vacuum, yes, but in the fact that
That's
Kingo
right.
has a lot of time left to be in a lot of matches, Rey Mysterio probably has one more WrestleMania after this one, maybe.
Yeah.
We said that
Unless
10
Gunther
WrestleManias ago.
retires him too. Yeah. Let's keep rolling. We got the Demon is making his comeback. Finn Balor taking on Dominic Mysterio. The Demon has lost like once ever, I think, and that was to Roman Reigns when the ropes collapsed. The WWE Women's Championship match, Jade Cargill, who has a faction around her now, which makes things interesting against Rhea Ripley. That is the only reason I have any doubt about the outcome of this is Jade's got a lot of backup. And then, of course, the main event for all of WrestleMania 42, the one and only the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk versus the OTC Roman Reigns. Man, not sure. I mean, I got my thoughts as to who's going to win that, but that could go a different way. But
my only question for Punk winning is what does he do afterwards?
Unless Tony's right, he turns heel and joins this faction with Cody and Pat McAfee, which would be interesting. But like I said, I think from top to bottom on paper, this match is stronger than WrestleMania 41. Ticket prices notwithstanding, storylines that kind of aren't very congruent or joining up that well, okay. But I think when you just look at the straight up cards and compare it to last year, I think this year's stronger. Do you guys agree or disagree?
You're forgetting Finn's you're forgetting what people consider the worst loss for the Demon ever. He lost to Edge at WrestleMania 39 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Match.
I was there too. That Hell in a Cell match. Well, that one was all fucked up because Finn got hurt early in that match and got busted open the hard way, and everything kind of seemed to get weird from that point in that match. Not to say that Edge wouldn't have won, because I think he would have, but I think that mishap really screwed that match up a little bit.
Well, he was in the Demon face paint in a Hell in a Cell, and they stopped the match for 30 seconds to patch him up. It made the match so bad.
But in general, what do you guys think? I mean, am I right? Do you think that this card is stronger than last year's? I mean, Granted, we don't have the prospect of Cena breaking a record, although John Cena will be the host, and I would be surprised if he doesn't get a little bit of action at this event in some way or some form or fashion. But
I don't think so.
No, you don't think he'll AA somebody?
No,
huh?
John's done.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Okay.
I would love to see Cenahausen.
Oh, I could see the Miz getting one more AA for good measure. I mean, it's the Miz.
I'll bet
John,
you $14.96 in America. We
bet
don't
you
get AA.
$14.33. But no, I mean, what do you guys think? This is a pretty solid card so far.
It's a great card. I've
what
loved the build. I'm not opposed to these celebrities. They've always had celebrities. People
what
get off their high
happened?
horse on that, right?
What I wanted to ask you though is one match that we were supposed to get that's not here that I'm a little surprised. Asuka versus Io Sky. What have you heard about that, Tony, as to why that is not happening?
I have no idea. It's just the funny thing is why is EO not have a match? Maybe they'll add something. I know
Ray,
you gotta have something on Friday night, but
Ray, I just asked Tony. One of the matches that had been rumored was Io Sky versus Asuka. That's not happening. Do you know what went down with that as to if Vince McMahon helps out the winner? I don't think so, Mike. He's not coming anywhere near here. But
so if you believe the dirt sheets,
the dirtiest of dirt sheets,
filthy,
the match isn't off. They haven't announced it because they were going to use the Kabukis as the fourth team because Nikki Bella's hurt. And in case she couldn't make it, they were going to put them in at that spot. So if Nikki actually can go, then they're going to make the match Monday.
Okay.
So they're just giving themselves an out. Now, conventional wisdom would tell you, just put Raquel and Roxy back in there. But I think Raquel and Roxy have a bigger story to tell with Liv and Stephanie.
Yeah.
And the EO Asuka thing is so last minute that they could pivot.
Right. Got to get Io involved. I mean, she had the match of the year, unanimous on the Swaggy Awards, the women's match of the year last year. How do you leave her off this card?
You're right. And to go even crazier,
if you can leave Bailey off a card, you can leave anybody off a card.
Oh, Bailey hasn't done much of shit for the last year, but
because you leave Bailey off the card.
Tony, just because she's got dad ass doesn't mean she has to be on the card.
If we were talking top 10 women's wrestlers of all time, Bailey's in the top 10.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that.
And she's probably a little higher than you think.
I mean, you got the four horsewomen, Trish and Lita, Mickie James. I mean, that's pretty much your 7 right there. And then you can get a little funky. Asuka's 8.
For everything the four horsewomen have done, you know the only one who's done everything there is to do as a wrestler? Bailey.
Well, true. Well, here's an interesting question. Mike wants to know. Oh no, that's
more
the
Vince.
wrong one.
You just want Vince McMahon.
No, this one. What number of top 10? I assume he's asking about Bailey. Where would you put her on the top 10?
So I think it's fair to say that Charlotte and Becky are 1 and 2, however you want to put them.
Yeah.
Then I think you can still put Trish at 3. Sasha's probably 4, given she's.
No.
I'm sorry, man.
That's probably not. She's probably not even.
I'm not a Sasha fan. I'm not a fan. That's
biased. Continue. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I'll stop doing the gimmick. Go ahead.
No, because I love it. I'd probably put Bianca over her. I'd probably put Bailey at maybe 6, and then put Lita, Rhea, and then go Mickie maybe. But Bailey's probably 6.
Yeah. I mean, like you raised a good point when you look at Grand Slam champions on the women's side and where Bailey was the first to ever do it. And yeah, she's kind of, slipped a little bit, but that's not her fault. But I think, it's tough to argue. I mean, Charlotte's obviously number 1. I don't think you could argue against that at this point.
Since I didn't know, Becky might be over her.
Since I didn't respond really at all on social media when I posted the top 100 that we did in 2022, I kind of just let people talk about it. I want to say this to everybody that thinks about and looks at lists that have an exorbitant amount of people on them, right? Like I'm not talking a top 5, but by the way, top 5s are great. Go to thechairshot.com, tons of top 5s. Once you get into 25 to 50 and then above 50 exponentially, it gets more difficult.
Yeah.
Go ahead yourself right now when you have free time. And go ahead, just do male wrestlers in whatever era you're most comfortable with. Make a top 50 and see how long it takes you to do it if you do it properly. Because you probably write down 120 to 140 names, and now you got to decide who doesn't make the top 50,
Yep.
and now you got to decide who's better than who. Not at 1, 2, 7, 9, but at 37, 42, 46. It gets really difficult.
It does. It does. Because I want to close this down because I want to get to Survivor Series. I did want to say one thing. NXT had their biggest show of the year this past week, Stand and Deliver. I thought it was excellent. I thought they put on a hell of a show. All the matches were top notch. I mean, there's some of the stuff like Tatum Paxley being indestructible was a little bit much against Blake Monroe. But I love seeing Tony D'Angelo, who came back from injury just ripped, stacked, and looks like a legit superstar. And I was not sure about Tony D'Angelo before that, but he looked, I mean, those four guys in that men's fatal four-way, I mean, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints look like, okay, when are we going to get these guys on the main roster? Because they are so entertaining with each other. Lola Vice finally broke through and won the women's world championship. That was tremendous. Vanity Project. I mean, the NXT tag team division is kind of in a state of flux, but whatever the case is over there.
Those boys are excellent, man. I love them.
They really are. They really are. They look like these pretty boys that you're like, who are these jackasses? But they have got a lot of talent. This is what I love about NXT is it just never stops down there. The amount of talent that just keeps rolling through there, whether it's Evolve, Kendall Gray was magnificent in that women's match. Lola Vice was great. JC Jane is horrifically underrated, in my opinion, which is why I drafted her, Ray. So
you probably have the greatest professional wrestling coach of all time running NXT.
Oh, yes.
And it's no secret that
did you see
that's the magic sauce. Like these people absolutely adore Shawn Michaels. They can't, like, you see the videos he makes with the girls and the interactions he has with the guys, and like he just touches people, and there's no more credible person than Shawn Michaels when they come in.
You see they're doing that documentary on him on Peacock that's coming out.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's got a documentary coming out on Netflix on April 22nd.
We're in the age of documentaries.
Ray, don't be hating.
I'm not going to watch the Hulk thing.
No? I want to check it out. I want to see what he's got to say. What he had to say.
Wow. Oh, you'll tell me.
All right. That's it. Ray, you could stick around if you want. I know you were contemplating bugging out. There is no David Sammartino on this card. I'm just going to put.
Don't believe
it. There's not even a Bruno Sammartino on this card. All right. We're getting into.
I do need to drop because this dog needs attention, and so
that's fine, Ray. That's fine.
I'm sorry. You're okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I messed up your party.
Your Black Panther party.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if I should.
You're allowed, Ray. You're wearing a Black Panther shirt, for Christ's sake.
Oh wait! Look at this.
Mom always said.
Hashtag journalism.
Mom always said.
Yeah, life is like a box of something. So
life is like a Black Panther meeting. You don't want to be there if you're white.
I just went to run then.
Yeah, I just had to run. All right, Forrest. If you got to leave, then leave, Ray. Thank you for hanging out with us for a while on this episode. And we eventually we're going to get to one of these events that you're going to jump on and purge yourself of the WrestleMania 2 stench.
Ray, you and I never get a chance to hang out or talk, so it's great to see you.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I haven't talked to you in about 2 weeks, dog.
You look 2 hours. Yeah, you look good.
You look good.
You look great.
I was on the phone with this fool on the way home from work. It's like we live together.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Hey Ray, this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. In the great words of the great modern philosopher Jason Terrence Phillips, aka AJ the Kiss, we gonna make it.
Ray, thank you for coming by, man. Anytime you're on one of these episodes, it is a joy and a pleasure. Yeah, I'm gonna do like the Marshall Faulk to Kurt Warner thing to you, man. Just the heart, just all heart, baby, all heart.
Appreciate you, boys.
Later, man. All right, on to Survivor Series 96. Now that we got that jobber out of here. No,
what a jamoke.
I know. What a jabroni. No, we love Ray.
A lot of work to do. I'm glad he left.
He does. He does.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
get to
kidding.
work,
I'm kidding.
Ray. Get to work, Ray.
That was awesome. He stuck around to talk some modern stuff for us.
So Survivor Series 1996. When last we left you at SummerSlam 1996. Shawn Michaels had defeated Vader in a very controversial match that had Vader beat Shawn twice during that match, and they restarted it both times so that Vader could get the championship. Didn't work out for him as Shawn prevailed. After that happens, and we talked about it on the last episode, how Vince starts to pivot away from Vader and starts to look at his other options. And as we'll see, that's going to turn into Sid. But did want to talk about the two. There's two intervening events between SummerSlam 96 and Survivor Series 96, which I think are very important to discuss in the grand scheme of things. They're both in your house events. One of them is in your house 10 Mind Games. And Tony, I think you'd mentioned this the last episode, and the Shawn Michaels Mankind match almost got us to do a side quest for this event. We opted against doing it, but Mankind has flat out said that he thinks that's one of his best matches of all time. Go ahead.
Yes, I agree. And if you haven't seen it, you can find it. It's an excellent match, especially if you're a Mankind fan. If you're a Mankind fan, Mick Foley fan, you should go buy his books and read them, because what his books are the tales of his wrestling career. It's some beautiful things, and he doesn't have a co-writer. He doesn't have a ghostwriter. It's him on a legal pad and having someone help put him into a position to make it look like a valid author, right? Not that his grammar wasn't horrible or punctuation, whatever, and sentence structure, but like, these are Mick Foley's words in these books, and that's how I found this match out. And if you were really interested in professional wrestling like we are, go search out autobiographies like this from your favorite wrestlers, because there's things you're going to learn that you're going to love, and then you're going to love them even more. But yeah, this is probably, like, if we were doing the Swaggies back at the early 97 for 96, This would have been on a few people's match of the year card.
This card is very interesting. 10 matches for an in your house. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are, 3 of them are dark matches. One of them's on the free for all. The dark matches, normally we kind of make, when we do these, we kind of like skirt by them or make fun of them.
Or we got to figure out who that guy was because he's under a different name.
But not here, because these matches are really big implications. The dark matches on here. We got Jake Roberts beats Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Okay.
Yeah, we're done talking about Sasha, Mike.
Yeah, we're done. We're done, Mike. We're done, man. No more talk about Sasha. So, but you go do what you got to do, buddy. We appreciate you being here for as long as you're here, Mike.
Seriously, Mike, thank you for stopping in with us.
Yeah, man, thank you. Here was the big one on the dark match. Psycho Sid defeats Vader, which kind of sort of turns into a number one contenders dark match. I mean, that's kind of odd, right? We got Farouk with Sonny beats Mark Merrow with Sable. So there's a lot of smoke show going on there.
Maybe Vince wanted to see if he wanted to do a number one contenders match with them, and he didn't see what he liked, so he decided not to.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about Shawn beats Mankind 20 by disqualification after 26 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's kind of like, well, that's the only bad part, is there was no definitive victor. Undertaker beat Goldust. Mark Henry beats Jerry Lawler by submission. This was Mark Henry's debut, and he was as raw as they could possibly get. I mean, geez. And he needed a lot of work. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog defeats the Smoking Guns. And I think they won the championship with that victory. Jose Lothario beat Jim Cornette in 56 seconds. Why? I don't know. But okay. Savio Vega pulls double duty. Go ahead.
If we had AJ on here, he could tell you in Jim Cornette's voice why.
I'm sure he could. Savio does double duty on this card as he beats Marty Jannetty on the free-for-all, and then he turns around and beats Justin Bradshaw in a Caribbean strap match in 7 minutes and 7 seconds. So pretty eventful in your house leading into all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, that was certainly, that's a hell of a card. Then we go to In Your House Buried Alive, because, this is where things get very strange. And The main event was a buried alive match between The Undertaker and Mankind, the first ever buried alive match held by WWE. And I'll just keep going because Tony's rolling along here. But looking at the results of this thing, let's see how many we had. This one only had 8 matches on there. And what's interesting about this is the WWF champion, Shawn Michaels, competes in a dark match for the WWF championship, and he beats Goldust in 13 minutes and 35 seconds. Like, the champs wrestling a dark match, it's like putting the WWE champion on the kickoff show, which they don't do. We had another dark match. The Godwins defeated the New Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy. That's not a team that's going to last very long. Then we got another dark match. The Stalker defeats Justin Bradshaw. How did this match go 20 minutes? I don't know. I'll wait for Tony to.
I think my theory here, though, Dave, is some of the things he didn't want to have, some of the people he didn't want to have on the actual pay-per-view, he still wanted to give to the crowd. So I bet some of this stuff was advertised locally to make sure they sold out. Like, In Your House was so new at this time, to think that people would just come to some secondary kind of off the riff kind of thing. I think he really wanted to make sure that at least the people in the audience were seeing all the people they wanted to see, when necessarily he maybe didn't want them all to be on the pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right about that. We got, looking at the other matches, Stone Cold Steve Austin beats Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I think Hunter's still being punished for the curtain call because he keeps losing. And Austin, I mean, and there's a rivalry that is going to get very heated over the years as well. So 3 Stages of Hell, I think the first time they did that was those two guys. Owen and the Bulldog, they defeated the Smoking Guns in a rematch for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Mark Merrow with Sable gets a win over Goldust with Marlena. And then, and we kind of talked about it on the last In Your House. Was the dark match kind of a trial run to determine about this number 1 contender? Well, they do it for real here at In Your House Buried Alive. Psycho Sid will defeat Vader in 8 minutes, a singles match to determine the number 1 contender for the WWF Championship and who would take on Shawn at Survivor Series. So there you go. So they kind of said, let's see how it works at a dark match. Okay, that was good enough. Let's run it for real for the number 1 contender. Sid wins, and we've got the full pivot by Vince going on here. And then we got The Undertaker, who did he win this match? Did Taker beat Mankind in this Buried Alive match? Wasn't this the one where after he wins, they bury him alive? I think this is the one, right?
I can't remember.
Let me effort this a little bit. Buried Alive match on the Undercard. Okay, so let's see. Event. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so during the main event, this event is the first time that Austin comes out to the Hell Frozen Over theme song, the glass shattering and all that sort of stuff. So we're moving rapidly towards Stone Cold Steve Austin. During the main event, thank you Wikipedia for this, Crush, Bradshaw, Goldust, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and the Executioner were helping Mankind to bury the Undertaker alive, only to be scared away by the sound of thunder after they were done. The Undertaker's hand, this is that iconic thing, his hand would then emerge from the grave as the event ended. It'd be the final time the Undertaker wore his traditional purple gloves attire in a Coliseum. Okay, so I guess he wins and then gets buried alive. Is that
he did win?
Right. He won the match. He buried Mankind alive. Then everybody buried the Undertaker and all that sort of fun stuff. So that's kind of the backstory as we get to Survivor Series 1996. Penny, you got any thoughts about some of this stuff? I mean, it's a really interesting time right now in WWF because we are, like we talked about, anybody who kind of looked at the description for this event on YouTube for the live stream knows that we are literally on the precipice of the Attitude Era right now. This event we're about to talk about is really where we're nudging forward with that,
Yeah, the cusp, right? The precipice. Both of those words were coming to mind there. I'm just so happy we're at where we're at, and it's good we covered everything we covered, and we were going to do it anyway. And not that we didn't always have fun, but you look forward to covering certain things more than you do others. But at the same time, that first beer on Friday afternoon is always best after a full week of work. And I think we've put that work in, and now it's time to start like really enjoying ourselves. I mean, it's going to get ridiculous too when we start talking about how WWE and WCW are acting each other, and it's just going to be a great time. And like you said, we're going to get into that, especially with the main event.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a good time to be here. We have and like we talked about the whole time, going through 1995, as bad as that was, and I mean, it doesn't get much worse than King of the Ring 1995, but to get through all that now to get to this point is a newfound sense of appreciation. I am excited to talk about this event and where we're going in 97. 97 is a huge year for WWE for lots of reasons.
We can't even attempt to call ourselves, WWF/WWE WrestleMania era historians unless we did all the dirty work we just did.
That's right. You really can't. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm a historian." Really, what happened in '95?
Yeah.
Well, I skipped by that because it sucked. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. That's right. Survivor Series 1996, November 17th, 1996, Madison Square Garden, New York City. This is going to be the event eventually. I don't know if this is the only Survivor Series that they've done at Madison Square Garden, but Madison Square Garden has the big four. They've got the big four criteria. They have hosted one of each of the big four pay-per-views. I don't think they've ever done King of the Ring there. But obviously, WrestleMania 1 was there. WrestleMania 10 was there. This is the Survivor Series that's there. Royal Rumble comes in. I think, obviously, John Cena's return. We all know about that one. And the first SummerSlam was at Madison Square Garden.
3 times.
3 times it's been at MSG, huh?
2002 and 2011.
Okay. So this is the first time that they go there for this. But I think you got to talk about Madison Square Garden. And New York City is crucially important to this event because there is no bigger market for WWE than New York City in Madison Square Garden. And whatever's happening at MSG really gives you an idea as to the pulse of what's happening in WWE at any given time. And this event, perhaps more so than anyone that we've talked about so far, really tells you where the fans were moving at this point, especially with the reaction in the main event, as we will talk about, that they, and also with Brett and Stone Cold, you get to see kind of like where the fans' mindset is right now. And it's very different than what's going on in WCW because we are in the throes in the heart of the Monday Night War. We all know that. But what's going on in WCW is very different from what's happening here. And that's going to play a big role as we move along. But what's happening in WCW is very nostalgia driven. It's Hulk, it's Macho Man, it's the NWO, it's whatever's happening there. But this is the emergence of the Attitude Era that's coming here. And we get to see, so this is the 10th anniversary of Survivor Series. So this is the 10th anniversary of Survivor Series. Sorry, Tony, Vince is still on commentary. But we do have JR and Jerry Lawler. They're there as well. So that's good news. And this legendary team of JR and Jim Ross, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler really starts to hit their stride, I think, with this event. Vince is kind of there as window dressing to a certain extent, but it's really one of these events where you get to see JR and Jerry Lawler kind of like start to take over, right?
So I didn't have time to watch this back. I got to be honest with you.
God damn it, Tony.
Well, with everything that's going on, you got to understand, and work-wise too. But we're not under the cowboy hat for a little while yet, right?
Right. I think JR isn't this where he's still trying to kind of sort of be a heel?
He didn't. JR fought putting on the cowboy hat forever, and then when he did, him and Lawler became the greatest, announced team of all time, in my opinion. I'm sorry to whoever else you want to put against them, but they're my number one. The problem is Michael Cole might have passed JR, but who's his? He's so many. You know what I mean?
Well, Corey Graves is the closest that he's had to anybody.
Yeah,
but
Jerry. Him and Corey Graves don't hold a candle to JR and Jim Ross.
No,
or
the only
Lawler and Jim Ross.
The only ones who I think match up favorably are Gorilla and Jesse. And those two I absolutely loved as a broadcast team, but they were very very associated with WrestleMania, not so much the other events.
It's just in case people don't know, Gorilla Monsoon hated Vince McMahon. By the way, absolutely couldn't stand him.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. So you've got the backstory. We're set here at Madison Square Garden. We've got the announced team in place. What's interesting is we talked about how we're on the cusp, the precipice of the Attitude Era. And again, like we've talked about so many times before, all the pieces are there. They're just the wrong gimmicks at this point in time. And there's still the wrong gimmicks here. And that's really when we look at, there's an extra match on the free for all. I don't remember what was the dark match.
I got him right here.
Okay.
So it was Aldo Montoya. Do you know who Aldo Montoya is?
Isn't that just incredible?
Just Incredible, Bart Gunn, Bob Holly, and Jesse James, the Road Dogg,
Right.
defeated Billy Gunn, Brad Shaw. Do you know who Salvatore Sincere, who is Tom Brandy? I was not familiar with Tom Brandy. And do you remember who the Sultan was?
It's not God, who was the Sultan? I don't remember. Who's the Sultan? Doesn't he?
Rikishi.
It is Rikishi. It's right.
Rikishi with the Iron Sheik and Uncle Zebekiah.
Ah, that's right. My wife's texting me. She goes, I guess she's watching this live. Say hi to Miss. Say hi to her.
Hi, Mrs. Attitude. Zebekiah is Dutch Mantel, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. And that was the match I wanted to talk about, the free for all match that, and you'd name the people in there. I mean, this is the perfect example. We have got all the pieces. So many of the pieces of the Attitude Era are right here in this one match. And it's not a great match by any stretch of the imagination, nothing to really write home about. But the more important thing is all the pieces that are there for the Attitude Era and where we're going in 97 and 98. They're all in this match.
Right. Even the dark match here, you have hardcore Bob Holly, right? Who's underrated in the Attitude Era. You have the New Age Outlaws on different sides.
On different sides, right?
You have Bradshaw under Justin Bradshaw instead of JBL or an Acolyte, right? And you have Rikishi as the Sultan. So you have all these like shit. You got 2, 4, 6, 5, 6 people here.
Yeah, it is a very impressive roster of people in this match who are just not.
And what's going on with is ECW a thing yet?
Yes, they are. And we're going to talk about that later on because one of the guys who shows up in this was basically wrestled his last match in ECW the night before. So I think
and think about Just Incredible becomes the future ECW heavyweight champion, right? So the relationship is probably already beginning.
It's already there in some form or fashion. So yeah, like you're saying, it's just all the elements are there. Everything that you could want is in WWE right now. We are just a gimmick change or two away from really popping this thing off where it needs to go. Especially like Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Once he switches to Triple H, it's game on. And one of the biggest stars in the history of the industry is going to make his debut at this event, as we will talk about as we go along. But got to put the glasses on, guys, because I can't read my own writing. You know, that's just kind of the way when you're old and decrepit, this is how it works. All right. So let's talk about the first of the matches. We got the British Bulldogs. The British Bulldog and Owen Hart. They are the WWF Tag Team Champions at this point. They're teaming up with the New Rockers to take on Doug Furnace, Philip LaFawn, and the Godwins with Hillbilly Jim. This is a Survivor Series matchup. So going through this, Henry Godwin is going to eliminate Marty Jannetty with the slop drop. Jannetty, I think he actually got hurt early in this match, and so they had to get him out of there. Or he's not going to be lasting much longer in WWE at this point in time. It's the end of the Marty Jannetty experiment. It's time to go party, Marty. Yeah, he
parties. He eventually parties with Platt, by the way.
That's right. He does. That's a true story. So Marty gets eliminated with the slop drop. Owen immediately jumps in the ring, hits Henry Godwin with a beautiful spinning heel kick, and eliminates him to even things up. So this match is actually what we'll talk about at the end. Phineas goes off on everyone, but does not see the blind tag Owen makes to Davey Boy. The Bulldog plants Phineas with the running power slam to send him packing. After absorbing some real punishment in this match, Doug Furnace is able to tag in LaFawn. LaFon gets Cassidy on the top rope and hits him with something that looks almost like a reverse Spanish fly. This move was fucking ridiculous. And he eliminates Cassidy, makes it a 2-on-2 affair. So then LaFon survives some double teaming by the tag team champions. He's going to get Davey Boy in a crucifix position, transitions that to a sunset flip, and eliminates the British Bulldog. So these two new guys are like, whoa. Furnace is going to save LaFon from the sharpshooter. When he gets tagged in, he flips Owen chest first into the corner, then turns Owen inside out with a massive German suplex to eliminate the King of Hearts. So this is a WWF debut at Madison Square fucking Garden, no less. And LaFon and Furnace are the sole survivors. And the crowd in New York absolutely ate this shit up, Tony. This match is one of the ones that I don't think gets talked about enough, because this is Furnace's and LaFon's debut match. They were coming over. They were the AJPW, the All Asian Tag Team Champions, before coming to WWE. And this is the first example of the MSG effect on this card, because the way that the crowd in New York reacted to these guys and their style of wrestling was a big flag to Vince that, hey, the fan base is ready for something different. They're ready for a different sort of style. Get rid of these stupid fucking gimmicks, Vince. Let's get into this thing, because they ate this match up, and it is a forgotten classic. And I know you didn't get a chance to watch this thing back, Tony, but I would urge you, watch this match back, because Furnace and LaFon were really, 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 really good.
The Can-Am Express.
What? They were? No, that was Zank. That was your band, Tom Zank and Rick Martel, weren't they? Or no?
I don't know.
That's a Can-Am. I don't remember. Who?
Rick, the Can-Am Express is those two guys.
Really?
That might have been the Can-Am Connection.
There you go. All right. It's an express versus a connection.
Hold on. Let me
because Tom Zank is one of your favorites, right?
I mean, the Can-Am Express was these guys. The Can-Am Connection was those guys. It's a true story.
Canadian American. Yeah.
We never got Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania for that title when he held it for so long. It is only secondary to the fact that we never got the Can-Am Express versus the Can-Am Connection, Dave.
I would have paid to see, honestly, Furnace and LaFon versus Zank and Martel would have been a good match.
It would have been a great fucking match.
It would have been a great match.
It a great match, especially if Martel was in his arrogance and they had that side be the heels and these guys were the anyway. I think Greg DeMarco has long talked about Furnace and LaFon being one of the tag teams, to start kind of a little bit of a revolution. But the WWF was not ready for Furnace and LaFon, is why you don't hear much more about them after this.
Right. Yeah, they're involved in a little bit here and there. They never really get over, even though the crowd in New York loved them on this event. And that's, like we said, that's a really good barometer of where you are. And it just, but what resonates in New York, unfortunately, doesn't resonate everywhere in the United States. And it's a massive, huge company, but it's still a lot of regionalization that's going on in WWE. Even now, different markets are going to react something differently. And Vince he's still not quite ready to pull the trigger on this sort of style of wrestling.
No,
but there are lots of reasons to think that he should have been, but he wasn't. And there you go. So there's we get some.
Doesn't Furnace end up in ECW?
I think he does. I think he eventually ends up there.
All effort.
Yeah. So one of the weird things is
he does.
Kurt Hennig. The situation with Kurt Hennig is very interesting at this point in time. And it's like he walks out of WWE the week before Survivor Series 96. Now, after the Buried Alive event, right? Perfect aligns himself with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who at that point in time became the new Intercontinental Champion. So I guess he's done being buried by this point in time, because Hunter grabs the IC title. So we were looking at this thinking, okay, do we have this Perfect and Hunter dynamic? Are these going to be a mentor-mentee sort of relationship? Kurt Hennig was going to transition into a managerial role, which would have been perfect for him. But there was all this dispute over he was, according to the Wrestling Observer at the time, Hennig was furious at WWE officials believing that they had sabotaged his chance of receiving a lump sum settlement from the Lloyd's of London Insurance Company because the complication was whether or not Kurt was going to return to the ring. If he was going to make a comeback, he wasn't entitled to collect on this policy. And, I think Vince McMahon had offered Kurt Hennig a pretty hefty wrestling contract when the settlement broke down to make up for the lost payout. Hennig was going to agree to this. Mr. Perfect was going to agree to this, but this is typical at this point in time. WCW swoops in, makes him a better offer. Hennig leaves and goes to WCW. And I think he becomes part of the NWO at that. Oh, yeah. Everybody becomes a part of the NWO. So he walks out, even though the contract he signed was still binding. So this whole legal mess is going to extend into the summer of 1997. So we're looking at 9 months that this goes on before Kurt Hennig actually debuts in WCW because of this whole messy fucking situation. Not specifically related to Survivor Series 96, but it does suck because it's like, man, Kurt Hennig as Hunter Hearst Helmsley's manager. Or, I mean, when you look at what happens with DX, right? And Rick Rude's going to come back and be a part of DX when they kind of right before Shawn leaves. But man, Kurt Hennig could have filled that role pretty well too, couldn't he?
It's funny because I think Hunter is with Marlena here in this Survivor Series, even though Goldust is on his team. Kurt's like, we talked about Mount Rushmore of Mike men as far as wrestlers go. Let's talk Mount Rushmore of guys to never win the WWF WCW world title in their era, right? Like, pretty sure he won the AWA title, but
yes.
That's not, the ultimate thing there. It's a great accomplishment, but at the time it was not that. And so many times we've sat here and talked about Razor Ramon and Kurt Hennig and Jake Roberts and Rick Rude and why Vince never pulled the trigger on these guys. And it was just, he was stuck in this non-realistic booking mode, and we're just finally getting into like real life shit,
And that's the shame about it, is that he was always tamped down by Hulk Hogan, right? When he should have been or could have been the world champion, Hulk was the champ, and Hulk was going to put him over. So
yeah, Kurt with Bobby against Hulk should have been a whole year build to Hulk losing at like SummerSlam and getting the belt back at WrestleMania, having to go through Bobby and the family to get to Kurt and things of that nature. Like, there's so many times that they didn't utilize the right people, especially at the end of Hulk's run.
Right. And let's take it a step further. Think about it. If Kurt sticks around here in 96 going into 97, you look at the champions who are going to be in there. It's Shawn, right? And yeah, I understand we're going to talk about with Shawn and Sid on this event, but Shawn Michaels and Kurt and Mr. Perfect is something we only got to see a very few times. Imagine running a program with those guys over the championship and eventually putting Kurt over. I mean, it's a shame that he left and then went to, because he never really does a whole lot in WCW. I mean, he does some stuff, but the magnitude of what he could have done in WWE had he stuck around, another story.
Post exit here, yeah, like Kurt Mankind, Kurt Brett, Kurt Austin, Kurt Hunter, Kurt Taker, Kurt fill in the fucking blank. I mean, dude.
Could have got one more Kurt Brett match before the whole Montreal screw job. Anyway, we could talk about Kurt Hennig for a long time. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if, that sort of thing. Let's talk about it. Like we get Mankind with Paul Bearer versus Undertaker. I don't know what you can do for an encore after Buried Alive, but apparently they're going to run this one more time. It's like, all right. Paul Bearer, he's locked in a shark cage. This is the first time we've seen a shark cage used at one of the Big Five events. It might be.
In WWF, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. But the big thing about this, Undertaker makes that iconic entrance that you see all the time by descending from the rafters with his bat cape on, right? You've seen this entrance a million times. And in the wake of him getting buried alive, even though he won that match, this whole entrance by Undertaker is just fucking iconic. It's craziness. Undertaker's strategy of trying to disable Mankind's hand so he can't effectively deliver the mandible claw pays off, as even when Mankind applies the move, he can't keep Taker down. Even Mankind using a foreign weapon isn't enough tonight, as Undertaker eventually hits a tombstone. Undertaker, at least for now, finally seems to put Mankind behind him. But before he can get his hands on Paul Bearer, though, the Executioner comes and attacks Undertaker to spare Paul Bearer from judgment. And it's, I think what I've noted in this match is Undertaker's in-ring style definitely evolved in this match, and it becomes less robotic. And we've talked about this repeatedly on, since you and I cut that short that did so well on YouTube a while ago, where we talked about how Mankind really brought a different element of the Undertaker out and really helped him evolve. And you see the series of matches that we've talked about, from the first match that they had, the Boiler Room Brawl, Buried Alive, up to here. Mankind's style evolved to match what Mick Foley was doing, and it is critical for Undertaker's development into the phenomenal Hall of Famer that he is. Mick Foley could not have come at a better time. And I think you saw it in this match, just how his style had evolved into something much more balanced, not nearly as robotic, not so much dead man, as to evolving into what he's going to become.
You talk about people that are important to bringing on the Attitude Era. You talk about someone that is important to adding depth to the dichotomy of the Undertaker. Mankind and Mick Foley are some of the most underrated people in professional wrestling. It's crazy. We talked about the Hulk Hogan documentary coming out, and the words and things that Hogan said about Foley, and then later took them back and personally apologized in person and said, I didn't get it at the time, but now I understand. Mick Foley's a fucking genius. Mick Foley is a guy who is an enhancer. He's an enhancer for everybody in this entire era. Like every single guy that you love that was at the top was better because Mick Foley was around.
Yeah. Yeah. He's absolutely critical to the Attitude Era in so many ways. You could talk, there's so many guys you can say MVP, Austin, Rock, Undertaker. Foley belongs in that conversation.
When he goes heel, so he can, so everybody has a heel. Like right. he was making shitboat tons of money with the fucking DX guys, and they were pissed at him because he went to Vince and said, "You need a heel. I can be that guy."
I mean, even Shawn, to a certain extent, who's going to sacrifice 4 years of his career to put the Attitude Era on the map, as we'll talk about way down the line a little bit. But this is great. This is really kind of the end of the Undertaker Mankind sort of series of matches. But man, what a run it was! And I mean, and so critically important for both guys, because it got turned Mick Foley into a legend. And I mean, when they have their match at King of the Ring in a few years, you already know, okay, this is going to be crazy because of the history that we've seen with these guys already. So hugely important match. Undertaker gets the win here and kind of effectively moves on past Mankind a little bit, which is important because where we see where Undertaker's going to go in 97 is to the top. As we'll talk about pretty soon. Sonny joins Vince and JR on commentary. Okay. For this match, which is Crush, Jerry Lawler, Goldust with Marlena, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who, as you mentioned, is the Intercontinental Champion at this time. Yeah, I mentioned it. You confirmed it. Mark Merrow with Sable, the Stalker, who is Barry Windham. Would it have been I wrote this note. Would it have been so wrong just to call him his real fucking name? Barry Windham. Everybody knows who Barry Windham is, but I digress.
They ruined the Stalker character years later with DDP as well. So
yes, they did. They sure did. Rocky Maivia, The Rock, making his debut in this.
Who?
Yeah. Who? Exactly. Rocky's hair at this point in time is certainly a work in progress. I will say that. It was very interesting. And Jake the Snake Roberts, who's making in this Survivor Series match. Jake is actually filling in for Mark Henry in this match because as we noted, Mark Henry had beat Jerry Lawler at what it was, one of the In Your Houses, and he is as green as the grass is right now. So Mark Henry's going to be, he'd been signed to a big contract. I think. Let me see if they. Yeah, I mean, Mark Henry had no. This is interesting. Just the shit that Vince does at this point in time. Mark Henry has zero wrestling experience, Tony, at this point. None. One match.
Nobody's the world's strongest man.
Hold on. I'll get there. Vince signs him to a whopping 10-year contract with WWE in the summer of 1996 solely on the merits of his legitimate powerlifting background and his Olympic celebrity. So after he beats Lawler, he goes away to work on his craft. And so Vince says, hey, Jake, can you sub in for Mark Henry on this thing? It's like, all right, that makes a lot of sense in this match. Let's get something in there. The other problem in this match is that The Rock didn't know, and he's talked about this. I think back in 2016, he did a look back on a podcast, and Rock admits that in this debut match, he didn't know where the hard camera was. So you're supposed to play to the hard cam. Anybody who's watched wrestling for any length of period of time knows that you're supposed to play to the hard cam. Rock thought it was on the opposite side. So there's some key moments in this match where you get to see a nice view of Rock's backside. But you live and you learn, that sort of thing. But I thought that was kind of fun. It's like, hey, go ahead.
Did you see the comments that AJ Styles made about when he came into WWE and he pretended he knew for probably 6 to 12 months, but he had to learn exactly what they were doing, and it was so different that people come in, and you found this out because Hunter talked about how AJ came to him after that period of time and said, everybody that comes here needs to go to NXT first. Hunter's like, why? He goes, because I didn't, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing or what you all were doing for nearly a year. And when I figured it out, everybody else is doing wrestling. You guys are doing cinema.
It's a different style entirely. It's not just stylistically, it's cinematically. Like, because of that sports entertainment aspect is so strong here.
Well, and we've talked about it for years about the difference between why Vince ended up winning over WCW, right? Like, WCW was under a TV company that was making a wrestling show. WWE was a wrestling company that was making a TV show.
Yep. That's exactly true. Exactly true. But it is, and it's interesting that, like, yeah, somebody as seasoned as The Rock with all that family heritage did not know where the hard cam was, but that's okay.
True.
It's like, dude, like nobody bothered to tell him about this. But anyway, let's take a look at this match. There's moments in this match where you get to see The Rock and Triple H square off against each other. And even very, very, very early on, this is the gestational period of the relationship between these guys. You can see the chemistry between them that is clearly evident, even very early on in this whole thing. And it is fun to watch in this whole thing. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to wipe out Jerry Lawler with the DDT to eliminate him. Thanks for showing up, Jerry. You can go back to the announce desk and hang out with Sonny and oogle her all you want. So that's kind of what Jerry was good at that. Barry Windham has the advantage. I refuse to call him the stalker. I'm calling him Windham. I'm just letting anybody listening. I'm not calling him a stalker because that just sounds creepy. Barry Windham, one of the best of all time. Windham has the advantage on Goldust until Crush sucker punches him in the kidney while the ref is not watching. Goldust hits the curtain call, and the stalker, Barry Windham's eliminated. Sorry.
You said you weren't going to do that.
I know. I forgot. I'm like Ron Burgundy and just reading the teleprompter here, Tony. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Oh no, sorry.
A whale's vagina. What?
Yeah, exactly. With a nice distraction by Jake, though, Mark Marrow is able to hit Triple H with the Marrow Salt, and he eliminates the Intercontinental Champion. So maybe he's still being punished a little bit, Tony.
When you start naming your moves like Marrow Salt, you kind of deserve to get your girl stolen by Brock Lesnar.
You kind of do. You really kind of do. Yeah, the fact that Brock did a shooting star press on Sable.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not going to. You know, it was a lot easier to be crazier when we weren't live.
That's true. Yeah, well, there is always the final
I
product, which might be heavily edited, but that's all right.
I'd tell you after the show, but I'll probably forget by then. It
Yeah.
was a doozy. Just know that it was a
Yeah,
doozy.
that's right. Mark Marrow is then going to go for a slingshot move on Crush as Crush is on the ring floor. But Goldust is going to shove Crush out of the way. Marrow crashes and burns on the concrete floor. Marrow is rolled into the ring and is pinned rather unceremoniously by Tunney's favorite, Crush. And Crush slugs him in the face. Yeah, so Crush slugs him in the face, pins him. I know how much you dig Crush, Tunney, but that's just the way it is.
Favorite all time.
Crush is then going to duck under Jake's short arm clothesline attempt, nails Jake with the heart punch to eliminate Jake, and this leaves Rocky Maivia in a tough 2-on-1 spot, buddy.
And my favorite finisher of all time, too, the
heart punch.
Like,
yeah,
come on now, dude, get out of here. What are we doing?
Tunney has loved Crush for years, but yeah, exactly.
Big crush on Crush.
Yeah, so we've got Crush and Goldust with a 2-on-1 advantage on The Rock in his debut. But this whole thing turns sour when Crush and Goldust go for a double team on Rocky. Goldust is going to hold Rocky as Crush is going to go for Tunney's favorite move again, the heart punch. Rocky moves and Crush instead hits Goldust with the heart punch. Rocky is going to hit Crush with a leaping body press to eliminate him. Rocky then hits Goldust with a running shoulder breaker to eliminate Goldust. And in his debut match, The Rock is the sole fucking survivor.
Yeah.
Whack job hairstyle and all. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you don't know where the fuck the hard cam is, Rock. Look, that's a hell of a debut. Madison Square Garden, your debut. Not many people overcome a 2-on-1 disadvantage in Survivor Series matches. Only the good ones seem to do. And Rock, of course, Rocky is a second or third generation superstar at this point, third. That's quite a debut for him to come out here, to be involved in the ring with a lot of these veterans. No matter what we think of Crush, we all have a tremendous amount of respect for Goldust, as your recent tweet just proved. And The Rock beats them both. Now, you can't ask for a better debut than that, can you?
Die, Rocky, die. No.
That's coming. That's coming.
Yeah, I know. It's easy for promoters to put a legacy into a prominent position more quickly. Why? Because the main thing you need to be is around the business a lot to understand the business. And when you grow up, you in the business, you don't understand. You understand it better than anybody else, right? Like Chris has long called me the Sid Justice of the chair shot, because maybe people don't know this, but Sid was a huge softball player and I was a huge softball player, and I grew up a third generational softball player, going to tournaments and league games and everything, and understanding the game before I was even able to play with the people I was watching. And that's what happens here. And that's why legacies in these types of businesses work so well when they get it right. Rock,
Right.
Orton, Cody. Come on, guys. We're the entire fucking Samoan bloodline.
Yeah.
It's something you understand because you grew up with it. It's like a language.
It is. And I think, something else that we should not lose sight of is that this New York crowd loved The Rock. And whatever, like you're talking Die Rocky Die, which is going to catch fire at arenas around. But this New York crowd could have shit all over him on his debut, and they didn't.
They did. No, they did not.
They took to him. They supported him. They were into it. So, and again, we talked about it at the very outset. New York is a very good barometer of what might work with the fan base in WWE.
Do you think it's going to work for him?
For Rock?
Yeah, do you think Rocky Maivia is going to make it?
I think Rocky Maivia, no.
I don't know. I have
The Rock will.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Well, we're talking gimmick changes, right? Here's another guy who's going to benefit massively from a gimmick change. So yeah, that's cool stuff there. All right, on we move. Rocky Maivia, the sole survivor. And on we go. And okay, this match probably could have been a watch along if we can ever figure out how to do a watch along. But let's not get this wrong though. This is not as good as the match that we will see at WrestleMania 13. It's not really. It's a good match, but it's not on that level. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart. This is the first of their iconic matches. This is the beginning of this tremendous rivalry. It's not a 5-star classic like the one at WrestleMania 13 is that we'll talk about pretty soon, but it's easily a 4-star. When you're talking about comparing this match to arguably the greatest match in WrestleMania history, it's like, dude, what are we doing here? This match, you take it away from that, it stands up on its own tremendously well. It's a great match. Got to talk about Bret Hart, though. So we know that Bret had been gone from WWE after the Shawn Michaels Iron Man match. And Bret's WWE contract lapsed in the summer of 1996 after this WrestleMania 12 match. So Bret Hart, of course, and anybody who's watched any of the documentaries about Bret Hart in this whole period of time knows the story. But in case you haven't seen it, let me recap a little bit for you. Bret had no intention of leaving WWE, none. He was smart enough and a shrewd enough businessman to at least hear what WCW had to offer before he made any sort of decision. That's smart business. When Eric Bischoff offers him a 3-year deal worth $2.8 million a year, Bret was stunned and wouldn't commit because he wanted to see what Vince would make him, what offer Vince would make him. Vince countered with the ridiculous, crazy 20-year contract worth $10.5 million, in which the bigger money was going to be on the front end. In the later years, Bret Hart would be an in-retirement advisor to Vince. There was some last-minute finagling of the contract. Bret actually had his WCW contract like in his back pocket, ready to sign in case Vince fucked with him anymore. It all worked out. Bret re-signed this 20-year contract that Vince was going to regret all the way up to this night in November of 1997, which we'll be talking about in the very near future.
He couldn't cover his ass at the end, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had offered Bret such a loaded contract that it was so top heavy with those early years that it was going to put him in a position where it would bankrupt WWE and WCW would win. And that's why Vince basically said, sign the contract with Bischoff. See if that contract's still there. Sign that. I'll let you out of this one. It'll all be good. Go to WCW. And then, of course, we run into the whole issue of the championship and how do we get the belt off of him. And that's for Survivor Series 1 year. About 5 episodes of the Big Five project from now.
And the crazy thing, if you think about it, though, is why would Bret be so opposed? And is it all just a work?
What, the screw job? We'll talk about that when we get there. I don't think it's a work.
No, I'm just setting it up. I don't either, but I'm just saying there's things that lead you to go.
I know maybe. Greg DeMarco thinks it's a work, but
I'm just setting the stage for the future because we might have an amazing panel for that one.
Well, for Survivor Series 97, we should. I mean, yeah, we absolutely should. But I mean, I applaud Bret for his loyalty. And that's the one thing you can't challenge Bret about is his loyalty. He wanted to be a WWE guy. Even after he got to WCW and everything that had been done to him, he still wanted to be a WWE guy. And it showed. It is in-ring performance and the things that happened and the unfortunate shit with Goldberg and all that. But anyway, let's talk about this first match. Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Bret Hart. This is the epic rivalry. And this is the first salvo in this whole thing. And it's just going to get more vitriolic as we move along from here. This is just the beginning of it. You know, when we get to Royal Rumble 97 on the next episode, things get a lot worse. Stone Cold gets a really good pop. I mean, he gets a really good pop from the New York crowd, but it's nothing compared to the ovation that Madison Square Garden gives to Bret Hart. And I mean, Bret's coming back. It's his first match since the loss to Shawn. He's going to get a massive reaction. in this arena where he is beloved. And yeah, still, the reaction that Stone Cold got, being perceived as the big heel at this point in time, was a sign. There's a lot of signs in this whole event going on. But it's a hell of a match. And it's the beginning of the rivalry, and it's a hell of a match. And yeah, I said it's not as good as WrestleMania 13, but it's not. It's an awesome match. Austin takes the fight to Bret like few ever have. I mean, he comes right after Bret Hart and just goes on the attack, dominates a good chunk of the action. The end, however, is less than spectacular. Austin is going to lock Bret in the $1 Million Dream because he's still using that move in a callback to his match. But you get this whole thing. So Austin locks him in the $1 Million Dream, and then we run this callback to Bret's match with Piper from WrestleMania 8 as he uses his legs to push himself out of the corner on top of Austin. Stone Cold does not break the hold, and he ends up getting pinned as Bret wins. And so that's where the match kind of falls flat, in my opinion, is that we ran back this finish that we've seen before. And Bret beat Stone Cold the same way he beat Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8. It doesn't take away from the fact that we talk so much about chemistry between wrestlers. And oh my God, do Stone Cold and Bret Hart have chemistry? And you see it in this match, and it's going to continue. And it's like you look at people who can just work together. And these two guys can absolutely work together like very few can. I love watching them, like when Bret's on Stone Cold's podcast and they're talking about this stuff, and just the tremendous respect these two guys have for each other outside the ring is really awesome to see. And it's no secret, it's no surprise that they were so damn good together. This match, the ending being a little bit wonky, whatever, this is still one hell of a fight.
It's always one hell of a fight, right? These guys were amazing. The 5-man electric band will let you know signs everywhere. There's signs right now pointing towards the Attitude Era, and it's beautiful. You talk about the respect, because Bret found a guy that loved the business as much as he did and wanted to like get together and collaborate and make the best things ever. Like, these two guys continue to bloviate about each other, and very well they should. Like, you want to sit down and have a conversation, like top 10 pair of wrestlers that had the greatest chemistry, right? Shawn and Take, Bret and Austin, those instantly come to my mind. Flair and Steamboat, right?
Yeah.
Like we're up there with that, right? That's where that is. Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude. Oh, sorry, I overstepped there, but anyway,
Well,
Hogan and Macho Man, like
yes.
literally, so some of the greatest chemistry between two performers ever is just blooming and blossoming in front of our eyes. I would almost call it, the precipice.
You just made that word up, didn't you?
It's a sham and a mockery, Dave.
It's a shamakkery. Shamakkery. We are on the precipice of the Attitude Era. I'll allow it, Tony. I will allow it. That's a good one.
Golly, I appreciate it.
But no, like you're saying, there's so many good things that are actually happening here at this event that are really leading into 1997 and Bret and Stone Cold, because I think you're spot on that Bret found somebody who gave a shit about the business as much as him. It's like, I can work with this dude. We can make money.
Shot in the arm for him.
I mean, you're talking
with everything that's going on we just talked about. He's got this guy who's like just so. Austin's got to be so fucking hungry right now.
Yeah, he really is. And we talked about earlier, we talked about the WrestleMania 42 card, and could there be a double turn in place? These two guys are going to pull off the greatest double turn in wrestling history.
Ding, ding.
I mean, we're going to see that coming up soon. So good stuff, man. It's a great match. It's just the beginning of things for them. Let's move on, because we've got another Survivor Series match. We got Farouk with Clarence Mason. And the Nation of Domination, they're there as well. So we've got that. And then here's some problems. Fake Razor Ramon and fake Diesel. So Vince, bitter, can't just, he's got to go with this whole, I've got the rights to these guys. So we get fake Razor Ramon, fake Diesel. I'm not going to dignify them by calling them real. They're full of shit. Vader with Jim Cornette taking on Savio Vega, Yokozuna, Flash Funk, and Jimmy Snuka, who he was inducted into the Hall of Fame like the night before, and then he shows up for Survivor Series. Now, you mentioned ECW earlier. Here's the thing. Flash Funk had just wrestled in ECW the night before, and he was Too Cold Scorpio at that point in time. So the night before, he was a fixture at ECW. He reigned multiple times as television champion. The night before Survivor Series, Scorpio went heel one last time after it was announced that he was leaving the company. So he challenges any wrestler to an impromptu loser leaves match, wins these 3 quick squashes over somebody named Devin Storm, JT Smith, and Hack Myers, supposedly driving all of them from the company out of Scorpio's just because he's a prick. Then, per the story, Scorpio gets too cocky, loses a match to Louis Spicolli, and Taz basically emerges to give Scorpio the message, bye-bye, Flash, get the fuck out of my house, bitch. And that's how he ends up in WWE as Flash Funk. So you'd asked about ECW. There you go. There's your ECW connection. This is also sadly going to be one of our favorites final match in WWE. The mighty Yokozuna, who is in excess of 600 pounds at this point in time. This is his last match. After this, he's being basically sent home to lose some weight. Never quite works out for him. And he never wrestles in a WWE match again and is going to pass away in 4 years? When does he die? 98? No, October of 2000. He weighs 580 pounds at the time of his passing. But this is, it hurts because this is the end of the line for one of the greatest of all time, the mighty Yokozuna, who just, like you've said, as we've gone through this Big Five project, and you've made this comment numerous times, he just couldn't stop eating. And it's the end of the line. It's going to be the death of him, literally.
No, it was his addiction. It was his cross to bear. But what a legacy, though. I mean, like if you put him, it's funny. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greats. He's like top 100 easily, right? Like we talk about that list and everything, and he was on that list. He was 59th or something. But I think it's funny. Him, like in any era before or after, excels even more.
Yeah. I mean, he was just such a great foil to transition away from Hogan and into this new era, because it gave like when Brett beat him for the championship, it was such a big upset because Brett was such a smaller guy, and it really solidified Brett's second reign as well as you could make it.
It was a different type of big man too, right?
Yeah.
Like it was this guy who had a low center of gravity but could move like a fucking,
super heavyweight,
like a
who
Brett
could move.
or like a Brett or Sean, like when he was not there, when he was at his peak. Good God, you watch that guy go like, how does that guy move so like fast like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We talk about legacy and being in the business and growing up and knowing what to do in spades.
Yeah. Yeah. He was an anomaly. I mean, absolute anomaly.
That's a
big guy who could move
word.
like that. Yeah.
It's a great word for him.
It's not as good as precipice, but I'll go with anomaly. Just
you keep trying.
Yes. All right. JR fully plays up this bullshit that the fans should accept these improved. He calls them improved versions of Razor and Diesel. Seriously, what the fuck is this shit, Tony? Improved. Vince. Yeah, Vince and JR trying to sell this shit.
Well, no, I mean, it's Vince telling JR to sell it or you're not going to get a check next week.
That's right. You make sure that everybody knows that these improved versions of Razor and Diesel, it's such crap. Vader low bridges Savio to the ring floor. Farouk takes advantage of this by ramming Savio into the ring post. From there, it's all academic as fake Diesel hits the jackknife and eliminates Savio. The fact they're still using the fucking moves pisses me off even more than anything. But whatever. Superfly is going to hit fake Razor with an awesome Superfly splash to eliminate him. So I don't think that the real Scott Hall would have been eliminated by Superfly Jimmy Snuka, but whatever. Immediately after, so go ahead.
No, keep going. No. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to keep going.
No, immediately after that, fake Diesel is going to nail Snuka in the back of the head with a chair. This brings everyone into the ring in a free-for-all. The refs just say, fuck it, throw the match out, as apparently Vince realized they were running short on time, and that's the end of the line for these guys. So I thought hilarious. Very funny stuff.
Yeah. This is like the last remaining reverence of the bullshit we just got through. Honestly, do you know who Fake Razor was?
I've looked it up before, but I don't remember at this time.
Nobody particularly special. Richard Bognar was a Canadian professional wrestler, actor, and motivational speaker. Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Who was Fake Diesel?
Wikipedia says it was Kane. I don't know that that's correct.
Glenn Jacobs? I don't know, man. I guess it could have been. He's big enough. Tony's going to effort it.
I'm going to effort it with Grok. I want to back that up with Grok to Wikipedia.
But seriously, didn't this feel like it just felt like they were going through this match and Vince is like, oh shit, this card's taking too long. Hey ref, throw the match out. Everybody just starts brawling. It's very rare that you see a Survivor Series match just completely thrown out the window because
it was Glenn Jacobs.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. Well, at least there's another guy who needs a gimmick change. You go from the dentist to Fake Diesel to Kane.
Well, and then because they got rid of Vader, we're gonna get to it. The problem is they needed somebody with a mask to feud with the Undertaker because they didn't believe in Vader anymore, and that's where we're about to get Kane.
We are. We don't need to spend any more time on that match. Let's get to the main event.
Thank God.
Yeah, we don't need it. I mean, it's too much like 95 to be. Let's get to the main event. Psycho Sid versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, with Jose Lothario for the WWF Championship.
Here we go, Dave. We're making shit happen right now. We're finally going to get to where I want to be.
It is a really good match as far as Sid matches go. But more importantly, it's a match that sees the crowd completely shift to being pro Sid as the match goes along. You see it Sid's entrance to the ring where that whole thing at Madison Square Garden where the wall opens up and Sid comes out, the fucking crowd loses their shit for this guy. And this was something that Vince did not anticipate, was this pro Sid kind of evolution that was going on, because he fully wanted it to be Vader, to be the guy who was going to beat Shawn. Shawn would beat Vader at Royal Rumble and we would go on the way. But because of this grassroots sort of Sid, the way that the fans revolved around Sid, Vince changes his mind and goes with Sid. That's why Sid won the number one contenders match. But from the moment that Sid walks to the crowd or to the ring through the crowd that night at Madison Square Garden, you realized, okay, something is going on here. As over as Shawn was at WrestleMania 12 in Anaheim, 6 months later, especially, it's not just the entrance. As this match goes along, the crowd, if there was any, even the pro Shawn guys start swinging towards Sid as the match goes along. And by the end of this match, it's like 75% for Sid, 25% for Shawn. You're like, what the fuck's going on? But this, again, is New York City. This is a barometer. Vince, these anti-heroes are going to start becoming a bigger deal. Nobody wants these pretty boys right now. These guys, and it's unfair to Shawn. It's unfair to Shawn because Shawn will evolve into one of the greatest of all time. No doubt about that. At this point in time, people didn't appreciate what Shawn was yet. And that's still a lot of the whole WWF mentality and the big guys, that sort of thing. But this match is very important if you watch this match back, watch the entrance, watch the match as it goes along, watch the crowd. New York is the barometer. You will see a lot of this stuff evolving as we go along. So let's talk more about the match and get into the aftermath of this whole thing. So the match is going to change, though, when Sid takes a camera and strikes Jose Lothario in the chest. Lothario clutches his chest as though he's having a heart attack. Shawn goes to tend to his mentor. Sid takes advantage of this. Back in the ring, Shawn is going to wipe out the ref with a flying body press directed for Sid. Shawn doesn't care, though, as he goes back to Jose Lothario with the ref wiped out. Sid is going to slam Shawn in the back of the head with a camera, rolls him in the ring, hits the powerbomb. Psycho Sid is your new WWF champion as Survivor Series 96 comes to an end, and Shawn Michaels' first reign as WWF champion comes to an end. It's I mean, look, like I said, it's a great match as far as Sid matches go. Let's call it for what it is. But they put the match together so very well, where Shawn loses and it's like believable, and you can justify the excuse. And Sid and Shawn have such history with each other. Because remember, it was like after WrestleMania 11, the night after that, where Sid beats the shit out of Shawn and turns on him. So this whole thing comes full circle. But it's a huge moment for Sid. All the bullshit that he went through with Hogan, all that stuff with WrestleMania 8, having to leave, the stuff with the Warrior that didn't come to pass because Warrior's a prick. Sorry, I know he's your favorite, Sonny, but he's a prick. Let's be honest.
Oh, no, I'll get to the end of that article.
I know. But it's such a huge moment for Sid to become the champion. And we're going to see this evolve. He's not going to be the champion the whole way. He's going to be the champion at WrestleMania 13. But there's a lot of stops and starts and twists and turns on the road there. But Sid beats Shawn. He's the WWF champion for now. And is this the high water mark of Sid's career?
I was thinking the exact same thing as where I was going to start when you kicked it over to me, right? Like,
go ahead, man.
This is it. This is it for Sid because there's not much left after that. And, just to clarify, Warrior, my favorite as a kid growing up. This is a landmark moment in professional wrestling. Like you said, you have the most important arena in professional wrestling. You have undoubtedly, we'll just say top 10 all time, easily Shawn Michaels in anybody's list. Then one of the top 10 big men of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sid
going in the Hall of Fame this year too, finally.
Yes, deservedly. Definitely. Great call. A good match. Just a good match. Doesn't even have to just be a good Sid match or, anytime Shawn's there and something's like important, it's going to be a good match.
But it was really well put together. It really was.
Yeah, I appreciate, and I'm remembering all of this because I've seen this a few times. It's just been really busy, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to do better next time we do a Big Five, but it's been a rough little period here. But everything you said is correct. And the fact that you got these matches and this finale to what you're talking about is something that has been accumulating the past couple of years with the turn. It was just awesome, for a lack of a better word.
No, and I think you nailed it perfectly. Why is this Sid's crowning moment? You beat one of the top 10 wrestlers of all time, in everybody's opinion, most everybody's opinion, in the most important arena in all of pro wrestling, at a Big Four, Big Five pay-per-view, whatever you want to talk, Survivor Series, at the end of 1996, when you were on the precipice. I need to trademark that shit.
TM.
PC Tunney.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, precipice of the Attitude Era. You're about to go into 1997, which is a critically important year in professional wrestling history, and you end it with Psycho Sid as the WWF champion. I'm going to tell you right now, this one's going to score high for me, Tony. What did Cage Match give Survivor Series 1996?
All right, I got everything up here. I'm ready to go today. I was anticipating, precipitating. No, that doesn't sound
on the precipice.
On the precipice.
The precipice. The precipice.
I thought about the best way to put those words together. I think precipice is the best.
I do too.
The Doug Furnace Phil LaFon win got 6.33. The Undertaker Mankind got 6.54. The Lawler Jake Roberts Rocky Maivia Soul Survivor 4.61. Austin Hart 9.02. Can we have number one contendership matches come back again for the world titles? I know they do them
Oh,
for other stuff, but
shit.
please.
Yeah.
The fake Diesel, fake Razor, Coronet,
Two.
Nation, Flash 2.29.
Ooh, that was close.
Sid and Sean's. I should let you guess these from now on.
Sid and Sean probably got
You know it's 6 or 7 because I said 7.23. 7.23. Overall, what do you think Cage Match had it at?
Based on those numbers, probably like a 6.8.
7.43.
7.43. I'll tell you right now.
You go last. You go last. Your
right.
show. I'll go next. I'll give this a 6.5. Easy.
Wow.
You have some really good Survivor Series matches. You have Taker and Mankind. You have Brett and Austin. You have Sid and Michaels. Well, you have one good Survivor Series match. But yeah, I'm gonna go 6.5.
I think you're low. Well, surprisingly.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm gonna be higher than you guys for a long majority of time once we go from 98 to 03. So,
I love this card. I love Survivor Series 96. I gave it an 8 out of 10, which may be a little bit high, but look, the reasoning behind it is Undertaker gets that definitive win over Mankind without all the bullshit from the Buried Alive match. You got the Rock's debut. You get this epic beginning to Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart, and you get a really good main event that showed some really cool crowd shifting and things like that. This is the 10th anniversary of Survivor Series. It might be the best one so far, to be honest with you. When you go back, maybe the first one ranks really high, but this one, when you look at it from top to bottom and everything that happened and everything on the line and a lot of the match quality, this might be the best one so far.
The problem I have with that, though, is it's not because of the Survivor Series matches. It's because of the singles matches, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's one good. So that's my whole problem is, and why we're better off to have it be war games, to be honest with you. Like, as the business and this company has grown, like the original Survivor Series format just doesn't work with this brand split. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, with the exception of the first match, the LaFawn and Furnace situation, which was an excellent Survivor Series match, a lost classic. The other ones are forgettable because the roster is still pretty thin. But the singles matches really shined at this event. Mankind Undertaker was awesome. Brett and Austin was tremendous. Sid and Sean was really, really good as well. But Tony, that's it, man. 1996 is in the books, my friend. We are on our way to the Royal Rumble. 1997 is in the next installment of the Big Five project. It is the ascension of Stone Cold Steve Austin, sort of, under weird circumstances, as we will talk about on that event. But man, that's going to be a big event. We finally are into 1997. It's not all good in 97, but there's some really important stuff. We do have 2 side quests. I will tell people right now, 2 side quests planned for 1997, and we can actually watch them because they're on Netflix. We've got Canadian Stampede and the first Bad Blood, critically important events in 1997. So we will be spending some time in 1997 for a bit, but it is the Attitude Era, and it's finally here, Tony. Your final thoughts on Survivor Series 1996 as we get ready to transition into arguably one of the most important years in pro wrestling history.
I mean,
maybe not even arguably. So,
in the words of Bob Costas in basketball, you're excited. Feel these nipples.
Yeah.
I've been waiting a long time for us to get here, and this is the evolution of what we know as modern day wrestling. Like, this is where we go from kayfabe and characters to real life and blurring the lines, which we talked about earlier in the show to bring it for full circle with the modern day products. So it's about to get really weird too. There's going to be some crazy shit that happens that would not be acceptable at all. But we're going to cover it all. And I think I really love that the fact that the wrestling business is growing outside of what we're covering, and we're about to bring everything outside in with what we're doing, because outside of WWE matters as much as what's happening in WWE here in the next 2, 3, 4 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, enjoy the slightly less chaos of just Tunney and I being here today, because I have a feeling that a lot of people will want to jump on the bandwagon for these events in 1997. Tunney, we got Royal Rumble 97, we got WrestleMania 13, King of the Ring 97 coming up, we got Canadian Stampede, SummerSlam 1997, which has an infamous incident. As if that wasn't bad enough, Survivor Series 97 is of course the Montreal Screwjob and Bad Blood wedged in all. I mean, it's a massive year for pro wrestling. So I'm thrilled that you're going to be here with it. I'm even more happy for you, my friend, that we've made it to 1997, and it only gets better for a few years from here. 97, 98, 99, 2000. Yeah, we got a good 5-6 year run of tremendous stuff happening here.
Yeah, until we're gonna have a little lull until we get to Cena and Edge, but after everything, but yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. All right, my friend, let people know, where can they check the one and only AVE PvP of all things chair shot related out on social media, my friend?
Always very evil, probably very personable. You can follow me at PC Tunney. You are not cursed as of this moment. Chairshot Radio Network, all your favorite streaming platforms, thechairshot.com, prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot, attitudeofaggression.com, one of my favorite websites. Dave does such an amazing job of letting you know what's going on over there. The UFOlogy and what we're covering over there with, everything, it is just amazing. And the synopsis you have for everything we did is just great to follow along with. So
yeah, over on Unidentified History, stay tuned. We've got coverage of we're going to be covering Roswell really soon, and that's as deep a dive as we can do.
Go back and listen to the Kenneth Arnold,
please,
and the Godfather, and the happening, and our interpretation. I mean, at one point we pull up the map for you guys on what was going on and kind of explain where everything was happening. So it's just such a cool experience, that show. I've really just loved it.
And we're about 2 months away from the return of Game Gone Wrong and House of the Dragon and all that stuff. And of course, as we mentioned, we've got the Big Five project coming down. We got the TriCast for WrestleMania coming back.
TriCast, dude, this is gonna be great this week.
Preview WrestleMania. We got to figure out if there's a way to. We'll have to I think what we should probably. Well, we can talk about it off camera.
I have an idea. I have
an idea too. But as far as me, you can check me out on social media. Sort of. At this point in time, just go to Blue Sky at Attitude Ag. One of these days, maybe we'll get X back, maybe not. But attitudeofaggression.com, the website, as Tunney mentioned, the YouTube channel, the Attitude of Aggression's YouTube channel is always available, and lots of good stuff happening there. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. I saw people tuning in as we went along here today. Some of you guys stuck around for a while. Some of you guys just got other stuff to do. Thank you to Mike for checking in for a while. We appreciate that. Bro, Mike's the man. Thank you. That's going to do it. Until next time, wrestling fans and aggressionaholics, stay aggressive. Do it with attitude. We will see you soon for Royal Rumble 1997 and the return of the Big Five project. So long.